In 2005, Council introduced a special levy for the Bluewater Canal. Council Special Advisors GH&D outlined the responsibilities of Council under the Canals Act and also warned Council about the amount of sediment they could expect to flow down the canal. This report advised that up to 1,000 cubic metres of silt could wash down through the river system from upstream development.
The drainage system cannot handle it, and the bridge and infrastructure cannot handle the massive amount pouring down through this drainage system.
It's estimated that some 95% of all boating activity on the waterway comes from the public boat ramp. Yet general rates only contribute 10 or 15%. The rest is picked up by the residents living in the area.
It's fairly safe to say that Council has failed to maintain and keep clear this waterway in accordance with the Canals Act. As a result of this failure, boats are now getting stuck in the entrance of the canal and sustaining damage, and at the top of the canal where they reverse out from the boat ramp and hit the bottom. The local waterway community are annoyed that they're paying almost all the cost, while 95% of all boating activity on the waterway comes from the public boat ramp. In a newspaper interview, this story was recently printed. Local residents have every right to ask this question.
Why should a minority of ratepayers foot the bill for most of the cost of managing the dredging at the mouth when there's so many boats using the public boat ramp?
Chief Engineer Tim Smith for Council is quoted as saying, "Bluewater residents were required to pay the levy because they enjoyed deep water access for their large boats," unquote. Would this be one of the large boats he's talking about stuck on the bottom? Or would this be one of the large boats that he's talking about?
Noosa Council and now the Sunshine Regional Council operate their own dredge to keep the river mouth of the Noosa greater water area clear for boating activity at ratepayers' cost, not at house owners' cost along the river.
Boaties, fishers and ratepayers are tired of getting stuck in the river mouth and stuck up near the boat ramp in the upper reaches of the Half Moon Creek River. This is possibly the only council in Australia that charges private residents for access to a public waterway.
Look at the silliness that's happening at the river mouth.
This sand here was pumped from just here, about 100 metres in the entrance of the canal. This will wash straight back into the entrance of the canal. The cycle of madness and stupidity continues. Here's another one stuck on the bottom on the way in.
Up at the top end of the canal, also with Mr Izzard at 29 Riverside Parade, he's being charged this levy and can't even get his boat off the bottom to use the waterway on lower tides. When Cairns Council has voted in this special levy, they may have been misled. They may not have known that a pledge was given to Riverside Parade residents that they would not be charged. I'm advised that this pledge was given at a public meeting, and it may have been that it had the effect to buy their silence because they were the only residents in the area that could have complained about a new development. It's clear to me that there are many failings on Council's part to do with this whole sorry saga, but certainly they need to put things right with the Riverside Parade residents. We put this story to a number of other heads of rate departments around Australia, and they cannot believe what Council up here has done. If Cairns Regional Council want to see people's faith restored in them, this is what they must do. Deal with the silt problem from yet more upstream approved development. Stop this crazy cycle of continuous pumping of sand at the mouth. Design and make application to EPA for a proper seawall. Bring the dredge up the canal and do all the areas of the canal that need to be done. People that don't have full-time permanent access to the canal on all tides shouldn't be charged. All services should be user pay, and we know 95% of all the boating on this canal waterway is coming from that boat ramp. Now, Council has to change the contribution ratio drastically. Stop the ongoing lip service and dodging around this issue. This issue needs to be sorted and sorted out properly. Waterside communities and local boaties have been badly let down by poor decisions of this council. Let's get an action plan together, put it to a resolution of council, and let's get this thing sorted.